This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we're dealing with the Miele dishwasher that isn't draining, and this is a real easy fix for many different types of dishwashers that are having trouble draining. It turns out that the air gap, which is part of the drain system, often gets a little obstruction. So we can see that there's still a lot of water left at the bottom even after doing the drain cycle. Some water seems to be moving, but not enough. So we're getting the intake drain light flashing and the cycle won't continue. So I'm going to remove the silver cap and then this little white plastic cap. I'm going to drive down this small snake down into the center tube, the small tube, down as far as I can to try to get rid of the obstruction. So something's in there blocking the water from draining from the dishwasher. So it drains here and then it goes down through a bigger tube to the garbage disposer. But something's blocking the little tube. So I'm going to pick a cycle and I'll close it. And I can see water shooting out. So it could be that we've fixed the problem. I'm going to put the little cap back on. And then I'll run the cycle and I'll see if it can get rid of all of the water. Because it had been getting rid of maybe half of it. But unless it gets rid of all of it, we get the intake drain light flashing. So when I open it up, I still see there's water left, so I know that there's still some type of an obstruction, and I'm not able to clear it in a conventional way where we just push something down into the tube. So we're going to try to go to the next level on how to clear these air gaps. I think there's something caught down a little bit deeper where the drain hose connects to the air gap. So I'm going to pry it off and just test it one more time. I'll pick a cycle and I'll start the dishwasher and then push down and see if I can clear out this obstruction. And yeah, it still seems to be partially blocked. So I'm getting like a real skinny column of water, and you shouldn't get that. You should get a thicker column of water coming out. So I'm going to use my pliers. These are channel lock pliers to loosen up this little plastic nut on the air gap. I'll spin it off by hand, and then I'm going to push the air gap down into the counter, and then I'll grab it from underneath. And this is the air gap. The white hose comes from the dishwasher, and the black hose goes over to the garbage disposer. And I'm going to disconnect this white hose, the one from the dishwasher. I'm just going to spin off this hose clamp. And then what I see in here is a little piece of plastic. That's what was partially blocking it. And it turns out that little piece of plastic is a cover for the screws that are used to mount the Miele dishwasher into the cabinet. One of them had come loose and had been sucked down into the drain. So I'm just going to pour out this water and that'll get rid of the obstruction. And we'll give it a test. So pretty common that can happen. Sometimes the filter is not on all the way and things sneak past. So I'm pushing the hose back on. I'm going to tighten up the clamp and I'll push it back up in from underneath, and then I'll look at the top and see if I can find the air gap, and then I'll push it up through. I'll put the nut back on. You don't have to get these nuts super tight. You can just do pretty strong hand tightening is all you really need. And then I'll put the little silver cap back on. And that's mainly just for looks, although you do want to have the opening of that silver cap pointing toward the sink. So if there is a blockage, you can redirect it out into the sink. So I'm putting that white cap on first. Then I'll put on the metal cap, and then I'll see if there's an improvement. So now during the drain cycle it sounds really strong, like way more robust than before. So we know that the water is flowing really good, and that did solve the problem. So it was just that little piece of plastic was caught in there. I'm just going to put the basket back in and we're done. And this does work on a lot of other types of dishwashers, but this is a little bit more specific for the Miele Incognito model. So we're going to pick a cycle, just test it one more time. Now we have everything put back together. Close that up, and that's working great. So thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe when you get a chance.